Welcome back, superstar. In this video, I'm going to dive much more deeply into who are you really, particularly with a focus on wealth dynamics and how it can serve you and help you design your business from the inside out. Let's go. In this video, I'm going to look at what are some of the components of who are you really? What are the things that matter in terms of bringing more alignment into your business? And then I'm going to dive into a particular tool that I love to use and use with all my clients and with myself too, which is called Wealth Dynamics. I'm going to look at Wealth Dynamics basic framework and also dive into how it applies to creating a business that's aligned with your personality and also aligned with the way that you generate wealth the easiest. I'm going to review the 4 basic energies and then also look at the 8 profiles as well as the order in which you build a business. Now remember, before we dive into this, that one of the fundamental concepts or perspectives that I'm inviting you to operate from is that at the very center of everything you do is you. And so when we focus on you and your alignment and your happiness first, then everything that operates or everything that comes out of that is more joyful, more aligned, it's easier, there's more flow there. But the question, who are you really, in the deepest sense, is a question we don't ask very often. So I'm bringing you this tool to help you understand better who you really are. It gives you a theoretical construct or framework within which to look at yourself. Now, I state this because it's really important to remember that it is theoretical, meaning it's not real. It doesn't actually exist. There are not these actual personality types that you're this and you're not that. It's really just a framework to help you dive deeper and understand yourself. And I feel like it's really important to mention this part because a lot of times when people do personality tests and inventories and things like that, they look at it as it's a box that they've been put into that they can't get out of. And that is not the intention of this video. That's not the intention of this test, and definitely not the intention of how I use it. I use this as more the beginning of a conversation than the end of one. This is not meant to limit your potential or opportunities, but rather to expand them. So take it lightly. Don't take it too seriously as I go through this. I may be talking about it like it's a real thing, but remember, it's just a theoretical construct. Now, before I get into the actual concept and content of Wealth Dynamics, I do want to share with you how life-changing this was for me. I was working with a business coach at the time. This was, more than a decade ago at this point. And my business coach discovered this test, Wealth Dynamics, and invited me to take it. Now, when I got my results back of Wealth Dynamics, first of all, I didn't like my results. And second of all, I didn't believe my results. I didn't resonate with the results. I had this image of what star meant, because that was the personality result I got, in my mind, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to be that. And so from the moment I took that test, it was a trigger for me that my coach, luckily Jody Johnson was a very good coach, she was able to help me understand that this was exactly the part of my personality that I'd been pushing away all of my life. Ultimately, what ended up happening with me taking this test and having to come to terms with this version of me that I had been pushing away was that I had to relook at my whole business from this new perspective. And it ended up being the catalyst that helped me start to reorganize my whole business and my whole life. So with that said, I hope that this is impactful for you in the same way that it was for me, that it helps you get some clarity and helps you create more alignment between who you are and what you're up to. Now, before I keep going, I do want to take this opportunity to invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even shoot me a comment below. So I'm going to share with you the diagram of the Wealth Dynamics framework. It's a circle, and it's based on this concept of 4 core energetics, 4 core energies. The top energy is called dynamo. And I put a little light bulb here because for me, dynamo represents that spark, that initial illumination. It's an idea. It's the beginning of a new creation. Dynamo is literally creator energy. And someone that is dominant in dynamo energy is considered a creator. The second energy I'm going to focus on is called blaze. Now, blaze is like a fire, right? It gives off warmth and heat. Another way of looking at blaze is it's also the warmth of love and relationships. It's from the heart. So it's really the center. If dynamo is the that the mind and the creation. I would say Blaze is the heart and love. Now, someone who's dominant in Blaze energy is considered a supporter. The third type of energy is tempo. Tempo, it's no surprise. Like this one, if this goes up, right, this goes out, this goes down. And I consider tempo as the more grounded energy. It's the energy of getting things done in the real world, in existence. So tempos are, people that do tempo are really good at getting things done. They're very connected to the timing of things. And someone who's a full-on dominant in tempo energy is called a trader. Trader meaning someone who knows when things need to happen and can trade on being aware of timing. Like it could be in the world of business, like a stock trader or a commodities trader. They're very in tune and in touch with what's happening in the world. And then the final type of energy is called steel energy. And by the way, tempo obviously has a little clock. Steel energy, I consider to be the energy, I put it in the wrong spot, sorry, is the energy of, I think, analysis and organization, of information, right? So if this is like the heart, this is all about the structure of things and the organizing of data and having thorough information. Now, someone who's dominant in steel, I consider them like the lord of a manor, right? The lord of a manor is someone who is looking at all of the information of what's coming into the manor, what's going out, keeping the ledgers. A lot of times people who are dominant in steel energy are accountants and bookkeepers. They like to measure things and count things and track things. Now, what's really interesting is that you can combine these energies and get other types of personality. So when you combine the dynamo, creator energy, with that blaze, that lover energy, what you get is a star. Now, this is the personality type that I got. And what stars love to do is they love to create in service of others. So, for example, stars love to put together parties and events. You might think of a star like I did as someone who likes to be the center of attention, and that can be true also. And usually they do it because they like to contribute to others. So if they like to be the center of attention, it's because they love to make other people laugh or make other people feel good. So the star in their highest and best version is someone who's giving of themselves to the world and creating experiences to uplift and inspire other people. Now I'm going to go back here for a second, just be clear that the dynamo, which star has a lot of dynamo energy, is the creator. Creators love to create new things. So a lot of times they're the people that start new ventures. They're visionaries. They're very tapped into like larger, big picture trends and macro things, and they love to create things. Now, that same energy is part of the star energy, and with the star, it's channeled into other people and helping others. Then the supporter is someone who loves to support and love and add value to others. Now, the star often likes to do things on a big scale because they have that dynamo energy, that big thinking. The supporter often likes to do it on a smaller scale. Not always, but sometimes. It depends on how much of these energies are all mixed together, right? But the supporter is someone that you can lean on, someone you can cry on, somebody who's willing to jump in and help and wants to support people. Okay, and when you combine that supporter energy with the tempo energy, what you get is a deal maker. I'm going to draw two hands really badly. Think of that as two hands shaking with only 3 fingers each. The deal maker loves to support people in real time. It's the combination of this blaze energy and this tempo energy. So a lot of times you'll actually see deal makers as emergency responders, paramedics, and people like that. People who love to serve and support like right now. What do you need right now? How can I help right this moment? They're very, remember, plugged into what's happening in the world, and they love to serve and help. So deal makers, by the way, in a business environment are really great at sales. You want a deal maker doing your sales. If you're a creator, a star like I am, sales can get, not always, not for everybody, but they can get boring after a while, having to do all that follow-up, right? Well, the deal maker loves doing that follow-up. They love staying in touch with people. They love that one-on-one connection. We're going to dive into the different roles on a team, by the way, in a bit. So then tempo is that doer, right? Taskmaster, project manager. If you want to get stuff done and build something in the world as a dynamo, then having a trader on your team is a really good idea. Or if you are a trader, then you want to be, a lot of times traders are event planners. They're people who have to do a lot of moving parts, all right? When you combine this tempo and steel energy, what you get is called an accumulator. Now, I don't mean to disrespect the accumulator, but the truth is I'm an opposite, so I find it very difficult to understand accumulators on a deep level. But conceptually, I can tell you that an accumulator is someone who's very present to what's going on and also very analytical, right? They're the combination of these energies. So a lot of times these are the people that are accumulating resources and assets and wealth and having those assets pay off, right? They're really smart about analyzing what are good investments and what, and they also know what's happening now, what's important in the world now. So that's the accumulator. I'm going to go ahead and put like a little pile of gold or commodities there so that you remember that one. And then the Lord, like I said, Lord of a Manor, analysis, bookkeeping, accounting, financials, tracking, things like that. And when you combine that energy with the dynamo energy, we come full circle, what we get here is the mechanic. And the mechanic is, I'm going to try to draw a little gear. That's a gear. The mechanic loves to build things and iterate them and make them better. So think about, for example, Michael Dell, right? He built a whole assembly line of computers and really revolutionized the way that computers were bought and produced and manufactured and delivered and all those things, because he liked to build a machine that did the work. He built an assembly line. He built a process. He built a system, and then he was constantly iterating and improving that system. So mechanics are great at creating systems and stabilizing businesses. So one thing to notice is that if you go and take this test, I'm going to give you a link at the end of this video so you can take the test yourself. If you do take the test, you're going to get back 4 percentages. You're going to get back percentage of each of these dominant energies. And it matters. The test is going to spit out a result that may or may not actually be 100% accurate. I found that it's better to really look at the percentages and determine for yourself what feels true. Because sometimes the test defaults to something but doesn't take into account the amount of balance that you have across the board. Like it might label you a dynamo, but you might be really, really balanced. And that's going to be a very different thing than if you're a dynamo off the charts and have very little of everything else. So that's just something to watch out for. But the test is going to give you a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary result. Now, the way I look at it is the primary is the primary, and then sometimes the test gets the secondary. The test always goes clockwise. So it'll always say, all right, dynamo, mechanic, star, even if your blaze is more than your steel. So I like to really look at those percentages. And if you're in my program, if you're in my retreat and you're watching this video as prep for the retreat, then I will help you do that at the retreat. So we'll look at your results and make sure that they're dialed in just for you. Now, one thing I want to look at this in here is that a lot of times in the business world, especially in the big business world, like the world of fundraising or raising capital for investing in new visions and ideas, you've got a dynamo that's leading the team, and then the dynamo goes out and tries to raise money to build the thing, to then go off and sell it, and then to grow it and market it and get it out into the world. So they go this counterclockwise way. Meanwhile, and I'm going to do this in green because I think this is the way to really make money as a superstar. When you're a star, a creator, a supporter, when you're one of a superstar like me and like you, I hope, then really what I want to invite you to consider is to look at going this way instead, to go clockwise around the circle, which what that means is we get this idea of this new program, this new thing we want to create. I recommend going out and promoting it first, selling it to your audience with a deadline on it. Once you've sold enough of it, then you go create it, then you analyze the results, and then you iterate and make it better next time and relaunch it 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. The reason I say go this way is because it costs a lot less money, and you raise the money that you're going to then spend to produce the thing, rather than producing the thing and spending a whole lot of money before you make any money. Another thing I want to point out with this, and then I'm going to bring this home, is that when you're building a team, there's a certain way that the creator of this test, oh my God, I forgot to tell you who created it, Roger James Hamilton. The book is called Your Life, Your Legacy. Roger James Hamilton recommends that wherever you are, you start 2 spots over for your first hire. So if you're a dynamo creator, he's saying, okay, go 1, 2, and you get a Blaze supporter person to help you. And then your next person, you go 1, 2, 3 over for the next person, creating this triangular type of structure. And this is going to create stability in the business because you've got somebody creating and promoting. You've got somebody who's like supporting the creator, because the creator might forget to eat, might forget to do a whole bunch of things, and the supporter will help the creator do that. And then the accumulator helps to bring in all the money and organize it. Personally, the way I look at it is a little different. I say, all right, if you've got somebody I look at the 2 together, and then I'm looking for something over here, and then something over here. So just kind of more general. I'm like, all right, if you're a creator star, you got this piece covered. We need somebody to help cover sales and bringing in the money and getting the thing done. And then we need something over here to like track the money. So, but still, the basic concept is this idea of having a triangle, right? If you're a creator, you don't want to hire a star. Not unless you have some of these other roles filled. That comes later. You can fill in the blanks as you go, but if you're going to have a small, tight team, we want to start with the minimum expenditure on other people. So, if you've got this piece covered, or let's say you're a creator mechanic, then yeah, you might want to have like a star supporter deal maker, somebody like that who's out in the world touching people, kissing babies and shaking hands, so that then they can help bring in the money, and then somebody over here on the back end. So if this got you excited and you want to know your wealth dynamics profile, I've gone ahead and placed a link below in the notes so that you can go ahead and take the test and discover a little bit more about yourself. I'd love to hear what you discover. If you want to post your results below, I'll take a look.